Obi-Doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage lens enthusiast. Today we're going to be looking at VIVITAR 70 to 150 3.8 close focusing auto zoom. So the macro is at 70, and this is how you focus. You don't focus with this, you focus here, and it works pretty good. Otherwise, you only get down to 1.5 feet. Oh, meters, sorry. That's not too good. 5 feet, oh, that's awful. But here you could get like 4 foot, maybe 3 foot, something like that. It comes in handy. And you don't have to be right on top of your subject. You can have a 28 millimeter that focuses to 1 foot, but then you're that far away from your subject, and sometimes that's problematic. All right, so this is on the Rebel T3i. Believe it or not, at f3.8, I didn't have too many troubles focusing with this thing. It was pretty sharp and it's snappy. I don't know how to say it. I was using the Nikkor zoom at 3.5, which is harder to focus than this thing. It could be because the 70 to 150 is telephoto, and it you zoom up on the subject matter and you can focus easier. I don't know what to say. So I seldom used a live view. I did almost everything using the eye-level optical viewfinder. And what I do is I point it at the sky, and then I make the reticle. There's a reticle there, some sort of circle with a dot in the middle, and I get that as clear as I can. Then I focus on something that's at 70. I use 70, why not? I focus on something, and then I fine-tune it again on the image this time, and then I focus again. I only do that once, just once. There's one thing I want to point out. This is not the Novoflex adapter. This is the fotodiox adapter. And this is an M42 mount lens, but I'm putting it in because it's using non-EOS EF mounts on an EOF camera. Here, I'll take it off and show you real quick. So it's just screws off, right? Fotodiox M42 EF version 2. This is the silver one, but they also have a black one. They were cheap, like under 20 bucks. It maintains infinity focus. And which is really cool, fotodiox is pretty cool. Instead of having the thing right up on top where it's underneath this flash thingy, it's off to the side. So you don't have to go like this, you could go like that instead and see it. So I think that's pretty cool. Fotodiox, all right, they're boss. So it works really good, right? That this lens, because it's 70 to 150, you could see finer detail at not any nominal distance compared to a shorter focal length. And then it makes it easier to focus in the viewfinder. So as usual, I started at 3.8, then I counted down to f8. I went down to f11 on some. I used flash on some. I was at the park on the 17th, I believe. And, the trees were advanced. A lot of trees were down. Some were just turning. Some were peaking. And some didn't turn at all. But we got more rain, and it was windy, so a lot of stuff is blowing down. If I was on the park at this day, and there's a lot of colorful leaves laying on the ground, well, when the next day when I went, they all turned brown. So I watched the progression of the falling of the leaves. So what can I say? Oh, I got this dirt cheap. I go to my favorite used camera sites, and I peruse them, and I see a lens, and it said VIVITAR in excellent condition, and it was like 35 bucks. So I said, what can I lose? So I went and I got it, and it's a really nice, clean lens. Look, it's just got the pass sticker on it, and it's like no damage, and the optics were clean, although they're a little dusty now, but that was from me, not from them. And it took really good images. Between 70 and 85, it's really, really sharp and contrasty. At 105, I mean, at 150, it got a little less contrasty, but it's just as sharp. You just had to focus carefully. Now, if you decide, well, I want a 70 to 200, forget about it. They're bigger, they're bulkier, and you're going to have trouble hand-holding anything at 200 millimeters. You're going to have to bump up the ISO and to use a fast shutter speed and to stop down. So this is small, it's compact. I mean, you can walk around it with on your neck, it ain't too bad. So I highly recommend this lens. It's really good. If you get one, a good copy and cheap. You know, Vivitar, I thought they were like real third string, but they made some gems. They made some real gems. Now, I don't know, Vivitar farmed everything out. I'm thinking that maybe Chiron made this for them. This has a Chiron look to it. But whoever made it, this is a really nice lens. It actually works on a DSLR if you have a full focusing screen. Of course, it was a bright sunny day when I went, and that helped a lot. I would imagine under dark conditions, you're going to have trouble focusing. But rather than just talk about it, let's just jump into the slideshow and you can see yourself. I've seen this guy in his green kayak quite a number of times. I guess he was enjoying the fall foliage from the lake. But I also seen him, I don't know how far he paddles, because I seen him, I was like a mile away along the side of the lake, and I seen him a couple times. It's a nice lens. This is the VIVITAR 70-150 3.8 constant aperture. I used a fotodiox M42 to Canon EOS adapter, and it was on the Canon EOS DSLR T3i. Oh, I really like this lens. Of course, you got to focus pretty carefully. And when you're fooling around with the aperture and everything else, you got to make sure you don't bump the focus and knock it out. Now, I lost like 10 or 15% of my pictures, which is pretty good, you know. I got like 85%. Yeah, that's great. So what I had to do is open up all the way to 3.8, focus, stop down to F8. You can count the clicks, adjust the shutter speed, and then trip the shutter and take your picture. I had a bias of -1 f-stop. That seems to work good. These are mostly right-edited camera. There's only a couple that I had to sharpen because I like the composition. Otherwise, yeah, I might have adjusted the levels a little bit to make them a little bit darker. On some occasions, maybe the highlights, I reduced the highlights, but that's pretty much it. A lot of them, the straight edited camera, it really impressed me. I got this thing so cheap. It looked brand new like it was never used, and the optics were clean. I said, wow, what a bargain. What a great bargain. You know, there's a lot of junky old lenses out. You know, back in the day, you spent $150 for a lens. That was like big money, like in the 70s and 80s. And then to let something, look at that hard infinity stop on that plane. Oh, yeah, it's a great lens. The fotodiox adapter, I could recommend this to anybody. Stay away from those no-name adapters because a lot of them don't have infinity focus. They're useless, positively useless. Now, the macro mode is at 70 millimeters. So you zoom out to 70 millimeters, there's a little indent, keep on going, and then you start focusing with the zoom ring. And I was standing up, I'm 6'2", and I was focusing at things at my feet, and I had no problem at all. None. It just worked really good. I was very pleased with this lens. I'm going to use it lots more. Now, Vivitar, they didn't make their own stuff. They farmed it out to other people. This looks like a Chiron lens to me. That's based on Chiron lenses I've seen, but that doesn't matter. It's a good lens. How cheap did I get it? I don't know, 35 bucks, something like that. You just got to shop around, that's all. You go to your favorite used sites all the time. Stop in, I don't do this, but some people go to thrift stores or garage sales and you can get stuff. I just got to look at it. You know, if it looks banged up and nasty and dirty, you don't buy it. Of course, people now, they think, oh, this lens, I'm going to charge $100 or $150 for it. Well, forget it. You know, you could get a Canon or a Nikon or a Pentax for that money. But, you know, if you found a good one and you did pay that money, it's really good. At 70 millimeters, 80 millimeters, 105, it's great. Ever so slightly less contrast at 150. And you got to be careful when you focus. Now, I was lucky. It was a bright, sunny day, and there's a lot of tree trunks and branches to focus on, and it came out really good. And I used the eye level optical viewfinder. I didn't use the live view once, not at all. You see this C picture? That's a corner. It was just a little bit soft. F8, 11, 16, those are what you want to use, those apertures. I didn't try anything at f5.6 or 4, 3.8 because it was too bright. I guess I could use ISO 100 and experimented, but you know, And I was getting away with ISO 400, but I used 800 in a pinch. And you know, these modern cameras still do 1600 and still look nice. 1600 ISO, maybe ever so slightly noisy. Now I used the lowest high ISO noise reduction setting, because if you use something more aggressive, it gets rid of detail. So then when you clean up the noise, then you got to over sharpen it, so it seems pointless. Yeah, it's a nice lens. Man, I'm glad I got it. It's cool. Look, this is a B picture. That's a 1:1 crop. This is a 1:1 crop. It's nice lens. I really liked it. And like I said, it was relatively short. It's relatively compact. It wasn't bulky at all. It didn't weigh too much, and it's all metal construction too. And I think 150 is probably the maximum you want to get in some sort of medium zoom range. Now I do have some 28 to 200s, and I use them all the time. But then, you know, oh, look, check out these horses. I've been going to this park for 30 years, and this is the first time I've seen horses there. Now, if I was in court and they would say, "Do you think there are horses in this park?" And I say, "Yeah." And they say, "How do you know?" "Because I've seen horse shit." And they say, "That's circumstantial evidence, because someone could get a bucket of horse shit, take it to the park, dump it there, and you would think there were horses there." So finally, I seen horses there, just like Bigfoot. You know, I didn't know horses existed in this park, but I finally seen them. How about that? So it's a nice lens, really colorful, and it goes good with the T3i. Excellent combination. I accept that, you know, you got to think about it and go through some rigmarole to get these pictures, or any sort of picture. So you just got to keep that in mind if you want to explore and get that vintage look. But I don't know, is this a vintage look? This looks better than some modern lenses to me. How about that? Wow. You know, from name brand companies too.